Hello everyone, I am Josh and welcome to this Sims 3 house building video. So today I am building a modern house here in Sunset Valley on this classic cliff lot that overlooks the ocean, and this house turns out pretty awesome if I do say so myself, although it did take quite a while to build. So this is a two-part house build, which you probably noticed by the title of this video. Yeah, it's like a lot of my Sims 3 house builds tend to be two parts, which I'm not a huge fan of. I prefer one-part house builds, but this one just ended up being like 50 minutes sped up, which is way too long to make one video out of, because the file size gets massive, and then it's just like a lot of voiceover to do all at once, and it's just kind of annoying. So I did split it up into two parts, so hopefully you'll check out part 2. There's going to be a link in the description below and an annotation at the end of this video, so you can go check out part 2. Yeah, so this house also is pretty large, which is another reason why it took quite a while. It has 4 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms and 2 living rooms, so it is pretty large. And also, it did take me a while to build it because the shape of it took a while, because I was deciding what I wanted to do. You know, it kind of came together kind of organically, I guess. I don't know. Like, I didn't really change a lot as I was doing it. Like, kind of the way I did it the first time is the way I kept it, which is kind of good, because I hate builds where I have to like change something like 10 times because I don't like it. You know, it just gets annoying. Anyway, here you can see I've kind of started something. The sunken driveway is kind of there, although it's not sloped yet, but there is a driveway that goes down, I say under the house in air quotes because it's kind of under, but I count that kind of as the first floor because from the back it's the first floor. It has nice big windows that look out over the back of the house. So, you know, from the front it's like the basement, but from the back it's like the first floor. I kind of count it as the first floor, so, you know. Anyway, here you can see I am expanding the house here. I was just messing around with the terrain a bit because I do put in an infinity pool, which is pretty cool. It actually has glass walls, one glass wall on it, which is really awesome. And you can see I'm working on that here. I had to put it in the foundation though, because I was being stupid and didn't think of that at first. So you can see I just kind of mess around with it here for a little while before I perfect it. So yeah, it just takes me a while, but I get there in the end. Yeah, so it's still a pretty cool pool. So, you know, like there's a nice outdoor area behind the house with some lounge chairs for your lazy Sims, and you know, this pool obviously. So pretty nice. Like, it's not a huge backyard because the house takes up a lot of the lot. So it's kind of just like all patio really, but you know, it's still neat. And here I'm still messing around with this. I don't even know what I'm trying to do here. It's just kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I was trying to get those walls to work and just messing around, and I don't know, it just was pointless. Then I realized it wasn't going to work because the foundation was like a foundation, and that just didn't work right because I couldn't put the wall flush, and it was just, I was being stupid. So I eventually figured out what I was doing wrong and I fixed it. So here we go, finally undoing all that mess. And I'm going to do it properly, so that's always good. There you go. So once you put the foundation in, it makes it quite a bit easier. So there you go. You can see I kind of messed it up a little bit somehow, and there we go. Okay, so now it's done. Took a little while, but we got there in the end. So there's the pool. Still, it's pretty cool. Like, it looks nice. It's a cool pool, you know? You know, it has like a nice view out. You know, like when you're in the pool, that whole wall that faces out is glass, which is pretty cool. Anyway, here you can see I'm putting an angled bit in just because it just would add something interesting to the house. There's also an angled bit here in the front as well, so there's a few diagonal parts of the house. I like to incorporate diagonal parts to houses because it makes them far more interesting than just having boxes upon boxes upon boxes. So, you know, incorporate a few diagonals here and there and it looks pretty cool. Anyway, I'm just adding some more foundation around the front of the house here, and it's looking interesting. Yep, that was a bad idea what I just did there. There you go, that's gone. Like those little angled wall pieces, I don't even know what I was trying to do. Anyway, you can see here I'm putting in the front of the house. There's actually that kind of the area where the 2 glass windows are on the front, or where they were now since they're not there now, is going to be kind of like a third floor area is going to be up there on top of that. So that's the only level above the current level I'm working on. So, you know, it's like just an office up there, and it's kind of interesting. It has some nice big windows though. It's all good and jolly. Like a lot of glass windows on this house. It's kind of like my last Sims 3 house build, where there's just tons of glass windows everywhere. But it looks really nice from inside, as you'll see in the screenshots at the end of part 2, because remember, this is 2 parts, so yeah. It gives me the joy of doing 2 voiceovers, of course. Yeah, so anyway, that's going to be the entrance there, where I just put like a little roof over it. And here I'm just putting in some more walls here and there and everywhere. And yeah, you get the idea. And now I'm just going to add the 3rd floor section. There's also going to be that area there, which is going to kind of be a frieze type of thing. Just adds some interesting bit to the house. Also some roofs as well, so you get that nice angled roof there. There's another one there, and I'll put another one going the other direction there. So there you go, a few roofs. This makes it look kind of interesting. Also a bunch of stages, of course, because you know me, plenty of stages. I love putting stages on the roofs of modern houses. Like my last modern house build, which was Modern Peak a few weeks ago, so you know that one had bunch of stages on the roof and stuff. They just look cool. They kind of add a nice bit of detail, so yeah. Anyway, here I'm working on the 1st floor / basement level thing. So I'm just trying to cut out the foundation here so I can use proper walls instead of foundation walls, because foundation walls suck because you can't put anything on them without move objects, and it's just annoying. So I had to get rid of all those, so I'm just doing that now. It's kind of a mess at this moment, but don't worry, it'll all be fine. It's all gonna be fine. There you go, cleaning it all up. Oh, yeah. Every time I changed something ever so slightly with the ground, it messed everything up because there's so many freeze levels on this house. There's like 3 freeze levels, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, so you can see here, just a bunch of correcting having to be done, which is just great. Anyway, there's a garage door finally in, so you can see that there. Here I'm putting in some walls. That's gonna be the garage, which you can see is huge. And there's the cars. They have, and it's really cool because they're kind of showcased in that glass window. So I think that's kind of nice. And anyway, that's the driveway there. Well, what will be the driveway, I should say. Here I'm putting on some wood paneling. The two colors on pretty much the outside of the house are this kind of wood paneling and then some white stucco. And it's pretty much those 2 colors on the inside as well. That's pretty much all there is. I think the inside there's some stone as well, but that's pretty much it. So, I mean, there you go. That's the wood color that pretty much goes on the whole house. And then I'm also going to bring in some white stucco, so you'll see that. So it looks kind of cool. Here I'm just changing the color of it and just putting it all over the place. It goes a lot of places. I mean, like a lot of the outside is this wood color, but it looks really cool. Kind of has a nice earthy look to it. It's a nice tone. There you go. You can see the white coming in, which looks quite nice. You can see just putting it all over the place, and you can see those are the 2 colors on the outside. And I also put those on the roof as well, and it looks all good and jolly. Anyway, here I'm putting in some more stages, of course, just kind of finishing off that angle. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. That edge is kind of weird, but I suppose it's okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting what do you call it, stage on that roof, because it kind of hovers out over the edge, but it's fine, you know. Anyway, these windows, or not, well, most of the windows in the house are tinted. They're not pure white, they're kind of grayish tinted, so you can see through them, but not fully. So it's kind of interesting. There's no blinds or anything really in this house because I didn't really want to use them, because it just always clutters it up, and then you can't really see out the windows very well, and it's just a mess, really. So I didn't bother with any window coverings except for the downstairs bedroom and bathroom because they look right out to the pool area, so you'd probably want some blinds there, but otherwise I didn't bother with it. Anyway, this is the staircase that goes down to the 1st floor / basement, which is really cool, and I kind of have this awesome glass ceiling as well that looks down from the upstairs hallway down to the downstairs living room, which is really nice, and you'll see that in a moment. Anyway, I'm just fixing up everything with constrained floor elevation, and yeah, here's some bedrooms downstairs. There's 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms right there, and here I'm adding in some windows, so the downstairs bedroom that faces the front of the house can get some natural light in it, because otherwise it couldn't, and that would be kind of sad. So you can see there's some nice windows there, and once I put some plants and stuff in front of that, you don't really notice it, so it just is nice from inside anyway. Yeah, so one thing you probably have noticed is I haven't done a Sims 4 video in like the longest time. When was it? Like, it's been, well, not actually, I say the longest time, but it's been less than a month, but almost 1 month. The reason for that is because I'm just not as into The Sims 4 right now, because it's just kind of limiting and a little boring, frankly. So, because like, look at the stuff I've been doing in The Sims 3 recently, like with Peak, and then with this house, it's like stuff that is physically impossible to do in The Sims 4. like I've been doing a bunch of stuff with terrain and constrained floor elevation, and like I just love using terrain to make a house more interesting. Like this house would be far less interesting if it wasn't on this hill, you know what I mean? It wouldn't have had that walkout basement area, it wouldn't have the infinity pool, it wouldn't have the sunken driveway. There's so many things about it that wouldn't be as interesting. There's also like constrained floor elevation, it wouldn't be as interesting without all the freezes and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm doing probably more Sims 3 house builds, at least during this time, than Sims 4 ones, because it's just more fun, I think, because you can be more creative. So anyway, that's that little side note. So here I was just doing stuff. Oh yeah, I'm going to put a little cover area over where some seats are going to go. Not there, I do move it because it was interfering with the pool, but I do move it over here, so there's going to be some nice little slats that kind of act as kind of a modern looking cover. You can see them there. They look kind of cool, so it's just nice for some seats to go underneath them, and they provide some shade, not really, but just more for style. It just looks kind of cool, so those are there. And here I'm just going to add, that's going to be a shower. This like little area I'm working with right now is going to be the master bathroom shower. So I put some windows there with much more tinting than the other windows, so hopefully people won't be seeing into your sim showering, but it's all fine. Anyway, like the showers I put in this house, they're all kind of like, they're like the public showers or something. They're from the store, but like they're like standalone showers that don't have like the glass around them, so you can use kind of windows to make your own shaped showers, which is kind of cool. So that's what I did in this house. But because those are like showers that don't have enclosures or curtains or anything, your Sims won't change out of they'll wear bathing suits basically. They won't get naked for those showers. They'll just wear their bathing suits, which is kind of odd, but it's just the way it is. I mean, you could always just go in and change out all the showers if you wanted to, but it's still pretty cool. I like the look of it though, because it's kind of more unique. Anyway, all that stuff is now touched up, and here I'm just going to be adding a little border around the, whatever you call it, the stages. Well, actually I'm putting some glass railings now, but I will be adding, there we go. Here's the border that goes around the stages, just because it kind of adds a little bit of extra definition, I suppose, and it just is interesting. I don't know. I just kind of finished off the edges of the house and all that stuff, so just kind of doing that here, and it's kind of interesting. So that's what I'm doing right now. Got that nice little border happening, so that's fun and jolly and good. There you go. Beautiful. Yeah, so here's what the glass flooring is going to be. I mentioned it a moment ago, but didn't get to it until now, but here we go. So this is where the staircase is that goes downstairs from the entrance to the house, and there's a pretty cool glass hallway. So there's a nice glass flooring, and so that's in the living room downstairs. So if you're in your Sims are in the downstairs living room, there's just a beautiful glass ceiling, which is really cool. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with it. I love using the glass floors from Into the Future because they're just so cool, especially like when you are in live mode and you go into tab mode, like free camera mode, and you can look up at the ceiling and kind of see through it. It's just cool. Anyway, right here I'm adding a skylight that's on the roof of the house, so that's nice. So it just adds a bit more light coming in, which looks pretty neat. And here you can see I'm just changing the color of the skylights to match the window tint. And yeah, so here I'm putting in some more windows. Yeah, the window here over the garage was a little challenging, so I ended up using some slatted windows from Late Night, which you'll see I do put those in later. Anyway, here's the sunken living room that's on the first floor, which I think is really neat. So you kind of go down a few steps, and it's just, oh geez, look at that. That was a little messy there with that ceiling glitch. Anyway, the sunken living room is pretty cool. It's off the kitchen, but it's kind of like sunken down like 4 steps or whatever, and it's just neat. It's just cool. The kind of stuff you can do with CFE is pretty awesome. Anyway, here I'm putting in a fireplace out in the sunken living room and moving the chimney because I don't want it sticking out of any old place because that's just annoying. And yeah, so just putting in, I just need to slightly change the shape so I could fit the kitchen in there. The kitchen was a challenge because you can see I have this like open space and I had to put it in there because also there had to be room for the dining room as well. So I kind of messed around with it for a little while until I could get it to work perfectly. And it does turn out pretty well, so you'll see. Anyway, that's going to be an island, so there's like a sink on the island, and there's like a little section where the fridge is and a little section where the stove is. It's all kind of split up, but it still works pretty well. So there's the island, and yeah, so you can see it works decently, and there's like another little island coming off of that section. And there's the stove, and there's the fridge, and there's the sink. So I think it works pretty well, considering it's a kind of a weird shaped space, and like it's so typical of my houses to be like this, because I always build from the outside in, so the inside always kind of gets screwed because I just kind of shape it from the outside, and then I just kind of work out the inside however which way it works. So yeah. Anyway, there's those slatted windows I was talking about, so those just kind of go over the garage for that bedroom there, and those windows don't have a tint on them, so they look kind of different than all the other windows, but it's okay. Anyway, there's a little bit of a retaining wall there next to the driveway, which looks pretty cool. Once I put in the landscaping, I put in some rocks here and there, and there's a lot of rocks in landscaping, actually, like some like little rock walls and stuff, which looks nice. Anyway, you can see there's a little retaining wall there, and here's where I slope the driveway. I know there's a way to like perfectly slope driveways and terrain using constrained floor elevation, but I didn't know how to do it off the top of my head, and I was too lazy to look it up, so I just used the like smooth terrain tool here, and it looks pretty decent, so it got the job done. Anyway, there's the driveway, putting in the asphalt, so it looks like a driveway, and there you go, beautiful. So it looks pretty decent. So you have a nice little driveway that kind of just flows down the hill there, and yeah, I like it. I love those sunken garages. Like you probably noticed, like on my last not Peak, but the other two house builds before this, in The Sims 3, I've done garages that kind of go under the house, because I think they look so cool, and I'm just a big fan of them, so, it kind of just adds something interesting to the house. Anyway, here I'm just going to do a little bit of edging around these downstairs windows there, just, to make them look nicer. And I'm also going to put in, of course, some bushes and flowers and landscaping and all the other kind of stuff around there, so it'll all look good and jolly. Here I'm just adding a little front wall, which I thought was kind of cool. And there's like these two little posts on either side of where the front walkway is going to be, and I thought it just kind of added a nice touch to it, so you can see that there. And also I'm going to put in the front walkway now. I'm going to do my favorite kind of modern front walkway, which is kind of these pavers. Oops, I just dropped the pencil I was holding. I'm sorry. I probably scared you there by yelling that. I was just like twirling a pencil in my fingers, and I just dropped it. Anyway, there's my favorite pathway that I like to do on modern houses. Let me put the pencil down before I drop it again, actually. Okay, now we're good. So, yeah, you can see, really cool pathway. I just love those kinds of pathways, and I used a bunch of different kinds of colored trees on this house, too. So there's that nice yellow tree out front, also a little red tree there off to the side, and a bunch of palm trees, obviously, because it is pretty close to the beach, so I used some palm trees as well. And it just looks really nice. I just love the colored trees and everything. It just kind of makes it pop, because the house is kind of, black and white. It's not black and white, it's brown and white, really. Not too much color in the outside of the house, so like the landscaping is what makes it pop, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, we get to that in part 2, I think, so I'm probably talking ahead of time, so, whatever. Yeah, so, actually, maybe I do the part of the landscaping now. Who knows? You know what? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out together. Right now, I'm just doing stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking around. Oh, I'm adding doors, so you can actually... So your Sims can actually leave the house and walk out onto the balconies, which is like the back porch and whatever. Not porch, why am I calling it a porch? The back patio and like all the balconies and everything. It's good to have doors, It's like I didn't put those on yet, so doing that now. Anyway, just putting some doors around the place, putting some more windows in, because I never finished windows, actually. There's another door, there's some more windows, it's all good and jolly. Plenty more windows and doors and more windows and more windows. Course, and more windows, and I think we're almost done windows and doors. That's exciting. I think so. I'm just like kind of looking at the house, apparently doing whatever stuff needs to be done. Oh, there's some bamboo down the side, which is kind of nice. Also, that bamboo. Wow, that was really perfect pronunciation. Obviously, that bamboo kind of blocks the master bathroom window where the shower is, so it adds a little extra privacy, Oh yeah, here I'm putting some stairs in that go down to like the very bottom of the lot, because, otherwise there's no way to get down there. So, like your Sims could walk down these stairs and then like walk across the street to go to the beach, which is kind of cool. So I guess that's nice. I don't know if these stairs are actually usable though, of course. You know me, never play test things, because I put like a bunch of rocks around them, so who knows if your Sims can actually use the stairs, but whatever, I guess that's for you to find out. Have fun finding out whether these stairs are usable or not. Yeah, so there you go, some nice stairs there. I'll put some rocks in on that hill to make it look less weird. And yeah, so, changing the color of the pool. Oh yeah, those windows glitched out so bad on the pool. You can't put tinted windows from Into the Future on pool walls because it is just a glitch fest. So I ended up just using normal windows, and it looks pretty good. Here's the rock wall I was talking about by the stairs, which looks nice. It just kind of fixes up everything and makes it look good and dandy, so you can see that there. I like the look of that, so, it's just nice. And putting a palm tree in there. And yeah, I think that's the beginning of when I I was not in the mood to do the interior at this point, so I'm like, you know what? I'll do the landscaping. That'll be fun. No, we're actually doing the interior. Well, never mind. I think in the beginning of part 2, I probably do a bunch of landscaping because I did not want to do furnishing. But, whatever. So you can see the classic colors in here. I got the white and wood, also a bit of stone as well. Watch out, mixing things up a bit. And also some nice track lighting here over the staircase that goes downstairs, so just brightens the things up a bit, makes things a bit nicer. Also getting some floor lighting in here in the kind of lower part, the freeze part, whatever you want to call it, the kind of in-between levels part. It's because in the lighting in The Sims 3 is so bad, so kind of got to put lights everywhere to make it look somewhat decent. It's still not perfect. It still looks like the lighting still kind of looks like crap, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's close enough. It's not too bad. Anyway, you can see the stunning glass floor over there, and changing the color here of that deck, and putting in some furniture. Oh my gosh, we're doing furnishing. Yeah, most of the furnishing's in part 2, obviously, since there's only a few minutes left of this part. Wow, that's exciting. Anyway, yeah, so I do a tad of furnishing here. I love this little area, though. It's kind of cool. Got those lounge chairs and the bookshelf and everything. It just looks so nice. I really like that part, this part here. And I put a few little spherical rugs. Not spherical, that's stupid. Rugs are flat, not 3D. Wow, that was dumb. I'm sorry. Some circular rugs on the floor there, which look kind of cool. And there's a bookshelf there on an angle, 45-degree angle. Looks nice. Anyway, we're almost done with this part. There'll be an annotation on the screen that you can click to go to part 2, or if you're on a mobile device, because they don't support annotations, there's a link in the description below which you can tap, or click if you're on a computer, whatever. The one thing that annoys me is when they say like in Windows or something, they say tap here, but it's clicking. I'm on a computer, or on websites it says click here, but I'm tapping. I don't know. That just annoys me because you're not clicking, you're tapping, or you're tapping. Anyway, that was stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're adding some windows downstairs by the garage and stuff. And no, we didn't actually do that. Anyway, check out part 2. I hope you enjoyed this part, and I hope that you enjoy the second part, which is all the furnishing and most of the landscaping and all that good stuff. And yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, hope to see you in part 2. And yeah, bye guys. I hope you have a great day.